As you know, I've started the Single and Satisfied movement, and there have been a lot of questions. So I decided to do this video to basically just clear some things up. So first and foremost, there's been this conception or this misconception that I don't want to ever get married. And so Single and Satisfied movement, I started that because I have been single for years and it was such a struggle for me. And if you saw our first Bible study, you'll kind of see my story as I talk about how I hated it. Like I was getting older and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm still single. Like what am I supposed to do? God's forgotten about me. Like I hate my life right now. And God woke me up kind of just like, okay, so are you going to live the rest of your life if you never get married miserable and not enjoy it because you don't have a man? Like, kind of how pathetic is that, you know, especially if you have the God of the universe who loves you and is crazy about you. Can you not still live a fulfilled life? And so let me just clear this up. I do desire marriage, but I am not waiting for it. I'm not sitting around sobbing about the fact that I'm still single or not going forward with my life. Because there was a time in my life when I would say, you know what, I'll just wait till to go on this trip, or I'm married, or I won't do that until I'm married. I won't go here till I'm married. I won't travel till I'm married. It was like ridiculous. Like I was putting my entire life on hold just because I wasn't married, and that's not how we're supposed to be. And so I had to just shake myself out of that and say, hey, I'm living, you know, and God has blessed me and I have a wonderful life, but I have to figure this life out as a single woman and enjoy it and still thrive. And so I desire marriage, but I'm not necessarily looking for it. I believe that when it is time, God will send the man that he has for me. And also the next misconception is that you have to be single and satisfied to join the Single and Satisfied movement or our group. And no, because I've had a lot of people say, oh my God, I would join your group, but I am so not satisfied in my singleness. Like I want a man. And that's the whole point. I started this group because there's so many women who aren't satisfied, who are struggling, who desire marriage, who desire companionship, who struggles with loneliness or discontentment in their singleness. And that's okay. That's what this group is for us to encourage each other, to uplift each other, to build a community of single women. And that doesn't mean that, you know, you can't court or you can't date because you're in the group. I've had that as well. Women to say, you know what, well, I'm dating, I'm not single. Well, technically, right, you're in a relationship, but you're not married. So this is for unmarried women. And it's to also encourage you that while you're dating, to date God's way and to live God's way in purity, to continue to date this person and get to know them, but to acknowledge God in all your ways along the way so he can give you wisdom and show you anything that you need to see about this person that you're dating. So it doesn't mean that if you're dating, you can't be in the group, because this isn't a singles group like, oh, us single ladies are going out to the bars or to the club, we're going to get us a man. No, that's not this kind of group. That's not that kind of party. So basically we're gonna hold each other accountable. Like don't settle for less. Like there is somebody out there just for you who'll love you for who you are, who will value you as the queen that you are. But you gotta wait on it. Don't be desperate. Like the kids say, don't be thirsty. Like when it's time, it'll happen. But in the meantime, don't live a depressed life. Like snap out of it, you know, strive and live, whether that's in your career, whether you need to go back to school, whether you want to travel internationally, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to get a singles group, whatever it might be, do what God puts on your heart. And before you know it, that time will come. But I believe a lot of times God wants us to be content in the season that we're in, and then he will bless us. How much do you love him? How much do you trust him? Okay. Another thing is that when I get married, that I'm going to be like, two finger Single and Satisfied movement, I'm done. My friend always laughs and she jokes about, she's like, you're in Single and Satisfied now. And she's like, but next you're going to be in the Married and Moved On club. That's what you're going to start. And it's like, no, because I had that in a radio interview. Someone say, you know, you're fly or whatever, whatever that means. But they're like, so you're probably going to get married. And I'm like, you know, that doesn't mean that I am basically a traitor to the movement. No. And that misconception that when I get married that I'm going to be done with the group or that I've been a traitor to the group, absolutely not. Because again, as I said, this group is for women who desire marriage and for those who don't. So if women who are involved in the Single Satisfied movement end up getting married, great. That's amazing. This group was just to help them in their single season, kind of like a midwife or a transporter to that next season, just to help them to stay whole and to stay committed and to stay content in this season. And then they could be a testament to those of us who are still single as a testimony to encourage us. So again, that doesn't mean that I'm a traitor or any of you guys who join the group are traitors. If you desire marriage or if you get married, that's great. Okay, so don't feel like that. This movement is not saying that I'm a man hater, or that I believe like I'm want to be independent and single for my entire life and I'm hating on marriage. No, marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a gift from God. But if he hasn't given that to you, that doesn't mean he's forgotten about you, that you're unloved, unliked, that you're unvaluable, that you don't have a purpose. He doesn't have a plan for you. That couldn't be further from the truth. So I respect marriage. I love marriage. But that doesn't mean that, again, that I'm sitting here waiting and that I'm just going to be depressed about that. No, ladies, like, we have to woman up and say, I'm going to thrive in my singleness. I'm going to enjoy it and genuinely learn how to enjoy it. That when the first man proposes to you, you don't have to say yes just because you're desperate and still be in the movement, okay? Because it's still accountability for you to still live in God's ways, to still live in purity until your marriage day. And a lot of people struggle with that. And this is that accountability, and to talk to each other and to help each other, all right? And so this group is not just for those who don't desire marriage. That's another misconception, that this is for all the ladies who want to stay single, who don't want a man. No, absolutely not. This is for both a woman who desires marriage, and some women don't. Some women say, you know what, I probably will be single for the rest of my life. And that's fine. God graces certain people for that. Okay, and so this group is for both those who desire marriage, to help us to be accountable to one another, to enjoy life, to do life together while we're, single, and then even when we're courting or dating or even engaged, to help us to be accountable to one another, to not settle, to still seek God in that relationship, and to still allow God to be the leader, to lead our lives, because truly we still need him, so that we can weed out the counterfeits, because men will come. But, you have to make sure that this is the man that God has for you, all right? And so those are my misconceptions, all right? It's not just for those who want to stay single forever. Not true. If you're not satisfied, great. Join the group. This should help you to get to a place where you can be whole and full and happy and content and joyful in your singleness, because we should pull that out of each other and to be accountable to live in purity while we're waiting for the man that God has for us. If you don't desire marriage, also for you, because it's going to help you, do life with a group of single women to enjoy life and still hold each other accountable in serving our first true king and husband, which is Jesus Christ. All right. And so again, if you're single, join the Single and Satisfied movement. Go to singleandsatisfiedmovement.com and also join our Facebook group, Single and Satisfied. We have monthly studies. We have challenges. We have contests where you could have gifts. We have events. We're doing life together. We're having a good time. So don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Also, if you have any questions or you would like to submit topics of struggle that you would like to see on my YouTube channel, go to charbriawhite@gmail.com. Again, that's charbriawhite@gmail.com. So again, those are my 5 misconceptions of the Single and Satisfied movement. I hope you join. I love you. Hopefully I talk to you guys soon. Bye.